Next month is my cat's 10th birthday, and she's always been a great cuddle buddy when I'm shiny hunting for these videos. It makes it less lonely. So to celebrate her making it to the double digits, I decided to beat Pokemon Violet using only cat Pokemon. But she's a very special kitty, so I feel like it's only fair to use the most special cat Pokemon. That's right, I'll be using only shiny cats. Now, shiny Pokemon are extremely rare and can take tens of hours to find. And to make things even harder, I'll also be adding on the nuzlocke rules, which means my shiny cats can die. Even their 9 lives won't save these kittens from my awful plays. How many shiny cats will I find? How many will even survive? And can they become champions and save the world? Well, let's find out. Now you might think that my first hunt was going to be Sprigatito. And don't worry, I will eventually get my hands on this adorable mint kitten, but this run I decided to start with the most infamous cat Pokemon of all time, and Wolfie Glick's favourite Pokemon, Incineroar. Not only is this considered one of the best Pokemon in VGC, its shiny is also incredible. And lucky for me, it only took 2 batches to find my first shiny Litten. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. That was so quick! Let's go! Yes! Oh, I thought this would take me so much longer. Look at it! It's such a top tier shiny, man. That's so sick. Now, if you were listening closely, you might have heard me say my first shiny Litten. Yeah, in the same batch of eggs, I actually got a second shiny. Guys. I found another one in the same batch. I wasn't recording, so I didn't get the hatchy bit. What is happening? Is my Masuda luck finally coming around? Are we about to be hatching shinies in one batch all the time now? Look at him! This is on my main file, but I don't have the shiny charm on this file because I'm lazy. So this is pretty insane. Oh my god. Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Actually, incredible. Woo! I obviously can't use 2 Littens in this run, so I'll be giving away the female one to my Discord members, because a female shiny starter is super rare. So join through the link below for your chances to win. As for me, I'll happily welcome Natsu to the team, and he's just so freaking cute. Look at him having a cat nap. Okay, wake up buddy, we got a gym to challenge. And well, getting Natsu to wake up was harder than the actual battle, as his Fire Fang destroys Katie's first 2 Pokemon. However, as soon as Teddiursa begins to terrestrialize, it does begin to rain. But even so, Natsu does insane damage, leaving the bugbear with red HP. Katie isn't playing around though, and her first hit of Fury Swipes does some sizable damage. But her second hit gets a crit. And suddenly, Natsu's life is in danger, as it could potentially get 3 more hits off. But we get super lucky, and it does only hit twice, so Natsu can finish Teddiursa off with an Ember. But this was an early warning to not take these battles too lightly, as Pokemon is a game run by the RNG gods, and they aren't always so merciful. After such a close call, and with the Rock Titan quickly approaching, it was clear that I needed more shiny cats. And I decided that it was a good time to add the most iconic cat of the franchise. That's right, it's Meowth. However, there was a big problem. The only wild Meowth under the level cap is this Terra Flying one, and I was under the impression that these are shiny locked. So my only option was to do another Masuda hunt. Now I was feeling really confident after the double Litten incident, and I thought it would take like an afternoon to get my shiny Meowth. Turns out, the double Littens were a curse, and it took me over 5,000 eggs to hatch my shiny Meowth. Oh, that's it! Sweet release! Oh my god. I did it! I did it! Oh my god. No words, okay? Just... Oh, I have to do this 2 more times. No. Wait, did I just say 2 more times? Yeah, I wanted to get all 3 shiny Meowth forms. I don't know why I decided to do this to myself, but I was very committed and I paid the ultimate price as it took another 3,000 eggs for my next shiny Meowth. Oh, wait, that's shiny. Oh, oh, sweet release part 2. I don't know what's happening. I went from 2 shiny Littens in like 120 eggs to like thousands of eggs for 2 Meows. Like, what's happening? Oh, but I did it. It does look pretty cool too. Like, you know, I'll stop being mad for a second. It does look pretty sick. Alright, just 1 more Meowth to go. I don't know why I decided to do this to myself. Thankfully, the last, and in my opinion, best Meowth only took 800 eggs, which is still over odds, but compared to the last 2, it felt so quick. Oh, what, already? I mean, I'm over odds, but like, comparatively, that was really quick. Oh, the Meowth hell is over. I did it. I'm free. We can continue on. Thank you, Glaring Meowth, for taking the least amount of time. And look at him. He's, I think, by far the best Meowth shiny. He looks so good. Oh, all right. We can now continue with the run. Well, I just got 3 more shiny cats, so I think it's time for a cheeky team update. First up is Carla, the Meowth. Next is Lily, the Meowth. And third is our golden boy Happy, the Meowth. And finally, the leader of the pride, Natsu the Litten. This run does have a nickname theme, and as always, if you guess it right in the comments, I'll heart it guaranteed. Now I did make a slight mistake as all 3 Meowths are weak to fighting type moves, and Cloth has Rock Smash. But Happy is either too brave or too stupid to feel any fear, so he's ready to charge right into battle. In phase 1, all Cloth does is use a block and then a weak Vice Grip, so Happy can finish round 1 with 2 Metal Claws. For phase 2, I decided to give some spotlight to Carla as she is the OG Meowth. So after Happy lands a free Fake Out, I switch into my Cantonian Kitten, and she, off the rip, lands a critical hit Fake Out. Obviously, it doesn't do insane damage, but every point of HP counts for these Titan battles. Now I won't lie, leaving Carla in was really dumb, as unlike Happy, she resists 0 of the Titan's attacks while still being weak to its Rock Smash. And while it spends most of the fight targeting Shelter, it does eventually hit Carla with a Vice Grip, doing insane damage. A crit and Carla would be dead, but I'm just really stubborn. So Carla stays in and is able to land the final Metal Claw, defeating the first Titan. I made that really hard on myself for 0 reason, but hey, at least Carla got to show off a little. And she seems pretty happy about it, so I'd say it was worth it. To be honest, the team was already looking more than strong enough to take on Brassius. But just to be safe, Natsu does evolve into Torracat, giving him a massive power boost. And in my opinion, Torracat is the best designed middle stage starter of all time. This is especially true for shiny Torracat. I mean, look at him. He just looks so freaking cool. The battle against Brassius would be as easy as clicking Fire Fang with Natsu, but that's really no fun. So I decided to get a bit cheeky. I lead with Carla, who hits Petalil with a Technician boosted Fake Out for a free flinch. Carla then uses a super effective U-turn, which when looking at my vibes based calculations, was meant to KO, but it lives on yellow HP, so I sadly have to send Lily into an incoming Sleep Powder. Now, call me paranoid, but it feels like my cats conspired against me so Lily could get a free nap. Thankfully, the Petalil does barely any damage, and Lily does quickly wake up and can KO with a U-turn of her own, giving me a free switch back into Carla as Brassius brings in his Smoliv. And well, it's the same plan, as Fake Out gives me a free flinch, and U-turn, fails to KO. Man, at least it was closer this time. My commitment to being the cheekiest battler in Paldea does almost cost Lily her life as she's crit by Smoliv's Razor Leaf, leaving her on just 5 HP. She is still safe to claim the KO with another U-turn as I bring in Carla one last time, and Brassius is now down to his final Pokemon, his Ace Sudowoodo, whose sturdy ability is quite annoying, so Carla breaks it with a Fake Out, and then of course she U-turns into Natsu, who shakes off a Trailblaze. But then he misses a Fire Fang, and with +2 speed, Sudowoodo now outpaces Natsu, but we get super lucky as Brassius trolls and uses a third Trailblaze, which allows Natsu to land a Fire Fang. But the tree lives with red HP. I should have Terastallized to guarantee the KO. Well, luckily for me, I'm unpunished as Happy actually walls Sudowoodo, resisting both his Rock Throw and Trailblaze. And so he claims the second badge with a combo of Fake Out and Payday. At the end of the battle, I get a really nice surprise. Oh, wait, what? Lily's... Huh? Wait. Don't you evolve at level 28? Huh? What? Is my... Maybe it's a friendship evolution? I've never used Alolan Persian before, so I for real don't know. I'll take it! It also looks better in this game, doesn't it? Wait, it doesn't look as, it still looks goofy, but it doesn't look nearly as goofy as it does in Gen 7. Okay, well, early Persian, Pog. Yeah, it turns out Alolan Meowth evolves via friendship, which is pretty cool, and I obviously welcome the boost in power. Okay, don't tell Lily, but her new evolution wasn't enough for me to feel confident in taking on the Open Sky Titan, as it's by far the hardest Titan fight in the game. So I was going to need an electrifying kitty. My next hunt was obviously going to be for shiny Shinx, and it felt so nice not doing a Masuda hunt. And it only took like 4 hours to find my big golden cat. Ooh! Let's go! Shiny Shinx! Oh, wow, that was certainly a lot more easy than Masuda. Hey, buddy! Well, look at him go, he's just trotting. Come here, bud. Okay, but please be Intimidate. Intimidate, Intimidate, Intimidate. Oh! It's like a double shiny when it's Intimidate. Let's go. Loxus is not only a second Intimidate Pokemon, he's also a certified cutie. Look at how small he is, and he's such a happy little fella. Sadly though, I do need to evolve him into the much stronger Luxio. But more strength comes with more attitude. But maybe this attitude is what he needs if he's gonna take down the Sky Titan. And well, I don't know if it was the attitude per se, but Loxus does two-shot phase 1 with a couple of sparks. And with Arven's help, phase 2 was even easier, with his Knackley soaking up the Bombardier's wing attacks. Before Loxus lands a critical hit spark for massive damage, and it even paralyzes, allowing Knackley to outspeed and finish the Titan with a Rock Throw. But of course, Loxus is too cool for a victory dance and kind of just angrily stares at me. But I know behind those eyes is a cat that just wants a pat on the chin. Or maybe a snack. It's probably a snack. The early game for Scarlet and Violet is actually pretty brutal, because straight after the Sky Titan is the first Team Star boss, Giacomo. And while my team is pretty strong, I wanted an extra member just to be safe, so I went off hunting for another shiny. And this time I was on the prowl for a shiny Litleo. And this is one of the few shinies I've never seen before, which honestly made hunting for it a lot harder, but it also made it more exciting when I actually found it. Oh, wait, that has to be shiny. Wait, that looks so... It looks like cool, but like also, I don't know, like kind of subtle. I don't know. That looks sick. I've never seen this shiny before, so This one's been a little bit difficult. I've been squinting my eyes because I don't know how big of a change it is, but that's pretty noticeable. And it honestly looks pretty cute. Looks more like a stuffed animal compared to the other one. That's sick. All right, bud. Oh, easiest catch of my life. Let's go. And it was a female, so we're gonna get the female Pyrox, a different form. So sick. Urza looks incredible, and she leads the battle against Giacomo as he leads with his Pawnyard. But Urza is a monster, and after taking an aerial ace, she's able to one-shot it with a flamethrower. This quickly brings in Giacomo's main threat, his Starmobile. This thing is such a monster for this early in the game, but luckily Urza does have access to Noble Roar. All she has to do is live this incoming Wicked Talk, and of course she does, she's a boost. With just 12 HP to spare, Urza is able to lower the Starmobile's attack and special attack. I then switch into Natsu, who can lower its attack stat down to -2 with his Intimidate ability. But its Wicked Talk is still doing some decent damage, so Natsu U-turns out into Lily, who can bring the Starmobile's special attack down to -2 with a cheeky snarl. And after getting hit by a weak Swift, she U-turns back into Natsu to further lower the Starmobile's attack stat. And I do try to U-turn one more time, but Wicked Talk ends up putting Natsu to sleep. So I'm forced to switch like an absolute peasant, as I bring in Loxus, which in turn brings the Starmobile down to -4 attack, and its Wicked Talk now barely scratches him. To bypass its weakened special attack, it uses Metal Sound on Loxus to lower his special defense as he begins to land some powerful sparks. But the Starmobile snarls are doing a lot more damage, and even though Loxus is able to take it down to red HP, he's also extremely low, so I switch into my tankiest cat, and Lily can hit a Technician Fake Out for some free chip while shaking off its weak Swifts. Lily then tries to finish the fight with one last super effective U-turn, but it lives with 1 HP. Thankfully, I can just bring out Carla and finish the battle off with a payday for some extra cash and my first Team Star victory. The early game isn't quite finished with us yet, as we do have to take on Iono, who in my opinion is the hardest gym leader in the game. But before we can take her on, Nemona demands a battle. And honestly, this fight is a little scary because half of my team is weak to her Terra Water Quaxwell. Her first 2 Pokemon, however, are easily dealt with as Happy Metal Claws Rockruff and gets Poor Me low enough for Carla to come in and finish it off with a massive Fake Out. But as mentioned before, I was mainly scared of her Quaxwell, and I didn't think Carla could tank a Terra boosted Water Pulse, so she U-turns into Lily, but it just sets up a workup instead. Lily does get some free chip with Fake Out before hitting a Snarl, and even with a Technician boost, it isn't doing a whole lot of damage, but it does offset the boost from Workup by lowering Quaxwell's special attack. But Water Pulse still nearly half shots Lily, and a second Snarl brings Quaxwell low. But because we dropped its special attack, he opts to use Wing Attack instead, which brings Lily down to just 9 HP. We do outspeed and Snarl would KO, but Snarl has the chance to miss, and if we do miss, Lily's going to die. So instead, she U-turns and it's so close to KOing, but Quaxwell survives with like 5 HP. Thankfully, Happy is a tank and shakes off a Wing Attack before finishing the battle with a Fake Out. If Nemona gave us that much trouble, then I'm really scared of the upcoming Iono fight. Her first Pokemon, Wattrel, is actually super easy to deal with. I mean, cats are notorious for being professional bird hunters, and Lily shows off those skills by catching her prey with a nasty Fake Out, and then uses a Power Gem on the next turn to finish the job. In response, Iono drops a nuke on us and sends in her Belly Bolt. This thing not only shakes off a Snarl like it's nothing, but retaliates with a massive Spark, half-shotting poor Lily. Well, she definitely can't stay in, so she U-turns out into Loxus, who lowers Belly Bolt's attack stat with Intimidate and resists the incoming Spark. And while he doesn't take a lot of damage, he also isn't doing a lot of damage himself. But after a long back and forth, Loxus does eventually end up on top, and Belly Bolt falls. and Iono saw how cool our Luxio was and decided to send in her own. Even though Lily is low, I send her back out on a guaranteed bite. Fake Out then gets a chunk off, and a Snarl on the next turn leaves it in the red. But Luxio retaliates with a Spark that brings Lily on the edge of death, with just 2 HP remaining. Thankfully, a U-turn is able to KO, and we can bring out Carla for free as Iono sends in her ace Miss Magius. And I thought I was cooking with this setup as I Terra Carla to boost her normal type moves, plus I gave her a normal gem and then the Technician boost. I thought the damage on this Fake Out would be crazy, insane, amazing, and it was like decent, but it was nothing that crazy. Miss Magius does hit a Confuse Ray on the next turn, but Carla doesn't fall for its cheap tricks, so she breaks through and lands a Payday, bringing Miss Magius pretty low. I don't want Carla to hit herself, so I do send in Luxio, as I know it's going to use Charge Beam, and I was right, but now Luxio is so low, it's a 50-50 on whether Miss Magius will use Hex or Charge Beam. But that's a gamble I'm ready to take. Oh man. Carla can land another Fake Out, but Miss Magius lives on red HP. Well, it's another 50-50. Will Miss Magius use Charge Beam or Confuse Ray? And well, I've done this battle a lot, and I know Iono is an absolute dog for that confusion. And I was right, she goes for a Confuse Ray, but Carla once again breaks through and lands a Payday for the KO. Not my cleanest Iono battle, but definitely not my ugliest, so I'll take it. With Iono defeated, we get a new level cap, allowing Carla to catch up with her Alolan sister as she evolves into Cantonian Persian, which isn't the most exciting shiny, but Happy's evolution was about to look awesome as he evolves into Berserker. The black and gold looks so cool, and I love how far they strayed from the OG Persian design while still making it look like a Meowth evolution. Honestly, they cooked with most Gala forms, and this is no exception. Now, in previous generations, Persian could learn Water Pulse, but for some reason, it just can't in Scarlet and Violet. But having access to a Technician boosted Water type move would have been amazing for the battle against Mela. Now I still do lead with Carla, and after getting off a normal gem boosted Fake Out, she's able to set up the rain. But now I have to rely on Power Gem, which doesn't get the damage boost from the rain, which means it takes 2 attacks to KO Torkoal. This brings in her Starmobile, who lands a Screech to lower Carla's defense, and her Power Gem in retaliation does do some pretty decent damage. But with the lowered defense, I decided it was best to switch out. But instead of being smart and practical by hard switching, I used U-turn, which means Carla still has to tank a nasty Blazing Torque. Also, she could do like 2 damage back with U-turn. I don't know why I didn't just hard switch into Lily, but sometimes I'm just stupid. Lily also gets her defense lowered by Screech before she lands a Power Gem, leaving the Starmobile with just above half HP as the rain fades at the end of the turn. I learnt my lesson and hard switch into Natsu, who resists the fire type move while also lowering its attack stat with Intimidate. Now Natsu really can't do much damage, so I let him tank an Overheat so he can get a slow U-turn into Loxus. And at -2 attack, the Starmobile's Blazing Torque is a bit more manageable, and Loxus can land 2 Sparks, but on the 3rd attack, he gets burnt, so his next Spark does barely any damage. So I have to switch into Lily, who does get her defense lowered, but she's able to bring the Starmobile into red HP with a Power Gem. All Lily needs to do is hit 1 more Power Gem to win the fight, and she should be able to tank 1 more attack. No! Lily! Are you serious? Dude. Oh, that freaking... Oh, I really liked Lily too, like... That really sucks, and now I'm in a really awkward position as the rest of the team is really low and have no way to hit the Starmobile for super effective damage. My best bet is to send in Urza. I decided to terrestrialize her into a pure normal type to boost her damage on Headbutt. The Starmobile does land a Screech, and Headbutt isn't able to KO, so now I'm risking another crit. But I believe in Urza, and I know she wants to avenge Lily, so she grits her teeth and clenches her paws and absolutely eats up a Blazing Torque. She retaliates with another Headbutt, finally beating the Firestar boss. While I did win the battle, it's hard to call this a victory, as I do have to say goodbye to Lily. It hurts more that the first death of the run was the Pokemon that trusted us the most and evolved because of that trust. And now I feel like I've betrayed her. I'm sorry, Lily. Have a good rest. You deserve at least that much. Thankfully, Orthworm is still super easy, so while Urza deals with that, let me ask you all a quick question. What's your favorite animal? Mine are red pandas. I mean, they're just so cute. And while I haven't personally given one a pat, I bet they're super soft. Though a close second is definitely otters. My local zoo has otters and they're just the goofiest little things ever. So let me know yours down in the comments. And while you're down there, if you are enjoying the video, consider hitting that like button and subscribing. It really helps the channel, and I love watching the number go up because I'm a bit of a dopamine addict. Oh hey, and look, Luxus is evolving. Shiny Luxray looks so tough. No wonder it's such an iconic shiny. This is perfect timing as well, as we do have to challenge Kofu, the water type gym leader. With a fully evolved Electric Kitty now on the team, the plan was clear. I obviously lead with Luxus as Kofu leads with his Veluza. It does sadly outspeed, but it does barely any damage before getting one-shot by a Spark. His second Pokemon, Wugtrio, is actually a huge problem, and no, not because of its damage output, I mean it tickles, but its ability Gooey lowers Luxus's speed. But Kofu's ace is so slow that I thought it just wouldn't matter, and my plan was to use Volt Switch to do massive damage while bringing in Carla, but that's an alternative timeline as Luxus gets outspeed and dies to a Crab Hammer. Oh, this hurts so badly, and I think the only way I could have worked around this was by teaching Luxus Thunderbolt to avoid making contact with Wugtrio. And anyway, I can't change the past, but the present isn't looking great as I have to send in Carla, who was built to deal with a weakened Crabominable. And well, she just doesn't have the damage output to deal with a full HP monster crab. Normal Gem Fake Out does do decent damage, but Trailblaze barely scratches it, and it retaliates with a Crab Hammer, bringing Carla down to just 1 HP. Carla does live, but I can't afford to switch here, as Natsu and Urza are both weak to Crab Hammer, and Happy probably couldn't tank more than 2. So I sadly have to let Carla die, but she's able to chip a bit more HP off the crab before being squashed by another Crab Hammer. I have to hope that her sacrifice is enough for Happy to win the 1v1, and his Fake Out does put it down to red HP, but then it outspeeds next turn and lands a critical hit. What is happening? Why are my cats so slow? Thankfully, Happy is an absolute unit, so he lives with 6 HP and avenges his feline sister, and so I do win my 4th gym badge, but that sucked! I'm devastated. Now I won't lie, they weren't the most overpowered Pokemon, but they were my Pokemon, and the fact that they won't be fighting by my side just makes me feel a bit lonely. I'm sorry guys, I hope you two rest well. And say hi to Lily for me. I sadly just went from having a full team of shiny cats to just half a team. And right before the worst battle of all time. Oh, I'm just not in the mood for Atticus. So I'm gonna go on a shiny hunt instead. Now in my head, all the evolutions but like Jolteon are cats. But the most cat evolution is definitely Espeon. So that was going to be my next target. And after 5 hours of picnic resets, it finally appeared. Oh, wait, shiny. Hey, bud. Oh, wow. Wait. Espeon looks so good in this game. Like, shiny Espeon, sorry, looks so good in this game. Look. The green, I don't know. It like, that's what I'm looking for. It pops. Wow, that's awesome. Okay, this didn't take long at all either, so that's good. Just gonna damage it a little bit. It's pretty high level. Hopefully I don't one-shot it. Oh, okay. Mystigan is super awesome and the green looks so good in these games. But he wasn't enough to make me feel confident in the upcoming battle, so I decided to hunt for one more shiny cat, and I decided my next cat was going to be Zangoose. Okay, before you say anything, yes, I know it's technically a mongoose, but just look at it. It resembles a cat way more than a mongoose. And if you don't believe me, just look at this side-by-side comparison between Zangoose and my girlfriend's cat Smudge. It's uncanny how similar they look. So yeah, definitely a cat. Now Zangoose is a pretty rare spawn, so I ended up going with the outbreak method. And after KOing 60 Zangooses, I'm gonna say Zangoose, it only took 40 minutes of picnic resetting to find one of my favorite shinies of all time. Oh, wait. Shiny! Hello, bud! Oh, look how cool that is. Hang on, I'm just trying to dodge these normal ones. You can't say that's not sick. Look at that. Oh, what a cool... Hey, bud? Oh, hell. Personal space, maybe? Okay. Alright, I'm actually so excited for this Pokemon. Zangoose is my best friend's favorite Pokemon. So I'm pretty pumped. Yeah. Oh my... Okay, I almost killed it. I mean, I saved it anyway, but goddamn. Whew, alright. Oh, it's so sick. This Pokemon was so cool. Wait, can I catch it? One great ball? One great ball? Let's go. Matching ball. I'm color coordinated like that. Mystigan and Rogue are super powerful cats, which means they'll be great backup in the fight against Atticus. But the main star is going to be Happy. He just watched his Persian sisters die right in front of him, so he has a lot of emotional work to get through. Being a steel type does mean that Skuntank can only hit him with Sucker Punch, but this just lets Happy set up to max attack for free with Swords Dance, and with max attack, Dig easily gets the Oko. Sadly, his second Pokemon does have a bit more coverage and hits Happy with a massive Bulldoze, but he can heal while underground with leftovers, and it's of course another one-hit KO once he comes back to the surface. And with one more tick of leftovers, he's looking pretty healthy for the fight against Muck. The only problem with Muck is its move Mud Slap, which does lower Happy's accuracy, but all he has to do is connect one time. Oh, he got crit and then flinched. Okay, but one time. What? Just one time? Yes, he did it. See, just one time. Bye, buddy. Now, Happy does have like -4, -5 accuracy, but landing just a single dig would be a massive help for taking down the Navi Starmobile. And his first dig actually connects and brings the Starmobile to red HP. Happy, you're a beast. Thank you. I want to keep Happy safe from any potential crits, so I bring in Rogue, who does get smashed by a Noxus Talk, but can hit a dig on the next turn, winning the battle. Crazy, I lost 2 Pokemon to Kofu, but 0 to Atticus. Maybe he isn't so bad. Nah, he's pretty awful. I hate this guy. You know what isn't awful though? The new level cap, because now Natsu can finally evolve into the overpowered, overtuned, overcooked Incineroar. And look at how good he looks. Natsu is straight handsome now, and not in a weird way, guys. Don't be weird about it. Natsu isn't alone in this evolution party, as Urza also begins evolving. And honestly, this is a subtle shiny done right. You can tell it's a shiny without it being a crazy change, and I kinda wish some other shinies followed this pattern. But overall, pretty good shiny. After rebuilding the team after so many tragic losses, I was feeling pretty confident. But before I challenged Larry, I just wanted to hang with my cats because I've learnt the hard way that I could lose any one of these guys at any moment. And while watching them play, I did notice some cute character traits, like the fact that Urza is a massive ball hog, but Natsu doesn't really care and cheers her on from the side. And while it takes Happy a while to have a go, he absolutely smashes it out of the park on his first try. Rogue doesn't really seem all that interested in playing, and Mitsigan looks like he wants to hit the ball, but gives it up after seeing how excited Urza is to kick it again. And this huge jump Urza does reminds me of those cat jump scare videos. Well, anyway, it was nice to bond with the team, and now I think I am ready to challenge Larry. To be honest, this fight was super easy as Rogue can learn Belly Drum. So turn 1, he sacrifices half of his HP for max attack, and then he just kinda low sweeps Larry's whole team. So yeah, easy 5th gym badge. The real problem is the Nemona battle right after, and my best bet for getting through this battle is getting another belly drum sweep off of Rogue. But Lycanroc is just too strong for Rogue to be losing half of his HP, so I need to weaken the dog. I do this by switching into Natsu to lower its attack stat with Intimidate. I know it's going to use Accelerock, so then I switch into Happy, and then right back into Natsu, and I just keep doing this until the dog is at -6 attack. And now I can bring in Rogue and safely use Belly Drum, as Lycanroc's bite does under 10 damage. With max attack, we can once again sweep the whole battle with Rogue. Zangoose is actually pretty strong, but he wasn't going to be much use in the battle against Rhyme, as she uses ghost types. And tragically, my pure dark type cat has sadly passed away. And while Natsu is a part dark type, this next gym fight is a double battle, so I did want another dark type to stand by Natsu's side in the upcoming fight. So I headed over to the cave near Alfornada and began changing the date until an Umbreon outbreak appeared. That's right, my next target was the incredible shiny Umbreon. The main issue with this hunt is that it has to be nighttime for these Umbreons to spawn, which means I was constantly moving the time by 30 minutes, so it would always be nighttime, which made this hunt like 20 times more tedious, but in the end, it was well worth it. Oh, hey bud! Oh, I jumped right into you. I'm a little bit embarrassed now. I was making my little jump sound effects. Come here, bud. Yeah, it's just a pretty sick shiny, no? Is it? Like, you can't lie, it's just pretty top tier. Doesn't beat Sylveon, but I'd say second best shiny evolution. It's pretty sick. Took me God. Okay, I don't know if it took me forever, but it felt like forever because I had to keep changing the date to keep it nighttime. So, but like, well worth the trouble, honestly. Just damage it a bit and then I'll catch it. Rhyme was about to have the worst time of her life as I lead the battle with the Darkness duo Natsu and Xerath. I terrestrialize Xerath to boost his dark type moves, but this gets hard countered by Mimikyu using Light Screen. And I won't lie, I didn't even know it had Light Screen. I swear, this is the first time I've ever seen this Mimikyu use it. Well, Dark Pulse at the very least does break its disguise, and Natsu, the absolute monster, one-shots Bayonet with a Darkest Lariat for the first KO of the match. Rhyme then sends in her Houndstone, which instantly hits Xerath with a critical hit Play Rough. But Xerath is a massive tank, so it's not even close to getting the kill, and Natsu gets yet another one-hit KO with Darkest Lariat, forcing Rhyme to send in her ace. I am a little bit scared of Toxtricity finishing off Xerath, so I send in Happy, and good thing I switched because Discharge does massive damage. But she does end up paralyzing her own Mimikyu. And then Natsu gets his third one-shot onto Rhyme's ace. Natsu really out here proving that tigers are in fact the best big cats. He even finishes off her Mimikyu for the win, earning me my 6th gym badge. Natsu really put the team on his back with this one, he kinda carried them. So I'm doing a shiny cat only run in Pokemon Violet, but I still haven't gotten a shiny Sprigatito. Well, I think it's about time to change that. And after 2,000 eggs, I gave up. Okay, I didn't give up, I just needed a break. At this point, I've almost spent 100 hours hunting for shiny cats, so instead I decided to go down to the Asado Desert and take on the Iron Treads. And well, it wasn't a very long break, as Urza one-shots phase 1 with a flamethrower, and phase 2 was almost as easy, as at the end of turn 1 the Iron Treads is left with red HP from Urza's flamethrower and Arven's Fire Fang. But I don't want Urza to tank a ground type move, so I switch into Natsu, who finishes the Titan with a cheeky final Fire Fang. And now I must sadly go back to shiny hunting. You'd think after hatching 2,000 eggs that my shiny Sprigatito would be right around the corner, but no. It took another, I swear, 4,000 eggs, and it got to the point where I had to double hunt. I had one switch hatching eggs and the other one collecting eggs, and in the end, I did hatch my shiny on my main game file. Oh wait, is that shiny? Oh it is! Why did I spit it? Wait, it was for good luck, Oh! Yes! Oh, finally. Whew. Another awful Masuda hunt out of the way. I think the next, like, 2 shiny runs at least, I'm not Masuda methoding at all, because, like, this has been the worst Masuda streak ever. But shiny Sprigatito is really cool. Sorry, I don't mean to complain. It's just, it's been a rough week just for this Pokemon alone. So anyway, I'm sorry. It is sick. I do love shiny Sprigatito. It's been tough. Okay, it's been tough. I need to go lay down, I think. It took ages, but Evergreen finally joins the team, and I waste no time evolving him to his final form. And Meowscarada is a top tier cat, and the answer we were looking for in the battles against Nemona, as he can freely set up a single Home Claws against Lycanroc, which is all he needs to one-shot her whole team. Having a grass type to support my fire cats is a great feeling, but Evergreen is also a dark type, making her perfect against the psychic gym leader Tulip. She leads the battle with her Farigarath, and I of course lead with Evergreen, but to my surprise, Night Slash fails to one-shot, leaving the giraffe with red HP. But its best move against Evergreen is a resisted crunch, so Evergreen can finish it off on the next turn. This brings in Tulip's Gardevoir, and its part fairy typing is a bit of a problem, so Evergreen U-turns for decent chip while switching into Natsu, who only takes neutral damage from the fairy attack, and a Darkest Lariat claims the KO. Tulip's Espathra has awful coverage for dark types, so Natsu can U-turn back into Evergreen, who then freely sets up to +1 attack with Home Claws. Evergreen then finishes off Espathra's low HP before using that attack boost to one-shot Tulip's Florges, earning me my 7th badge. This quickly brings me to the 8th and final gym leader, Grusha, and he uses ice types, which is good news for me because I have 2 very powerful fire kitties and an iron kitty on the team. Urza quickly turns his Frost Moth to a Crispy Moth with a flamethrower. She then barbecues Beartic, but Grusha's Titan is a bit more awkward to deal with thanks to its thick fat ability, basically ensuring that Urza won't be able to one-shot. So I Terastallize her to a pure normal type, and Flamethrower does do crazy damage, but Thick Fat does end up keeping it alive in the end, and it fires back with a Liquidation. But thanks to the Terra, it doesn't do a lot of damage, and Urza can finish it off with another Flamethrower, leaving Grusha with his ace Altaria. I really wasn't sure if Urza could one-shot, so I switched into Happy, and he starts off strong with a critical hit Fake Out. But Hurricane on the next turn gets the confusion, and Happy hits himself. Another Hurricane takes Happy below half HP, but he is able to connect with an Iron Head. However, it fails to KO. I can't lose my final Meowth shiny, so I switch into Natsu, who can finish the battle with a Fire Fang, earning me and my cats our final gym badge. If you've watched any of my Scarlet and Violet runs, then you'll know that we're still far from challenging the Elite Four, as we still need to battle 2 Team Star bosses and 1 more Titan. So let's get at least one of those Team Star bosses out of the way. Ortega is a pretty easy matchup for my cats, as Evergreen one-shots Azumarill with Flower Trick and then U-turns into Happy on Wigglytuff, who then proceeds to destroy Ortega's whole team with Iron Heads. He even beat the Starmobile, and this was without any setup, just Terra boosted Iron Heads. I am really sad that I lost my other Persians, but I'm glad that Happy was the one to survive because he's cleaning up in this late game. But he really wasn't going to be much use against the final Titan, and honestly, most of my team doesn't want to deal with the Tatsugiri in particular. So it's time to get my hands on a fairy type cat. And my favorite shiny of all time. That's right, my target is Sylveon. Once again, it's a pretty rare spawn, so I do have to reset for an outbreak, but I didn't even knock out 60 before it showed up. 49, that should be 50. Wait, what? wait. Hang on, I haven't, wait, stay away from the edge, don't jump. Oh my, I didn't even finish my 60, bro, you're here too early. Okay, by far the quickest run. Also, this is the Talonflame I've been using for my Masuda hunts. I didn't want anyone to go over the level cap, so I thought it'd be fine. Look at that. God, I love this shiny so much. I'm really glad I didn't have to wait too long for it, so hell yeah. I adore this shiny so much, and the fairy typing is pretty powerful, so I'm stoked to be able to add Lucy to the team. And now, I'm ready to take down the final Titan. For phase 1, we do have to fight the Dondozo, but Evergreen can just Flower Trick it twice, and phase 2 Dozo also just got Flower Trick twice. And so the real dragon finally shows itself, so I U-turn into Lucy. And 2 Muddy Waters actually does some decent damage, but Lucy can just heal right back to full HP with a Terra boosted Draining Kiss. A Moonblast on the next turn leaves it with red HP, and for the second shiny video in a row, Greedent actually gets the final hit to KO the last Titan. Out of all my cats, there is one that I've been honestly kind of neglecting. Since getting this shiny, I haven't used it in battle once, and I got it a pretty long time ago. But the time has arrived for Mystigan to show off his power, and my lord does he show it off hard. Eri is the last Team Star boss, and she uses fighting types, but her lead Toxicroak has the move Sucker Punch, which is a priority dark type move that only works when you're using an attacking move. And Espeon has like paper thin physical defense. If the paper was wet and like cut in half, like thickness wise, she has really bad defenses. And also a minus defense nature, so I needed an answer to this tricky frog. And my answer was Psychic Terrain. This not only boosts Psychic type moves, but also blocks priority moves. And this boost from the terrain and a held expert belt was all Mystigan needed to one-shot Eri's whole team. I think Mystigan did a pretty good job for his first battle, but let me know what you guys think. With those 3 battles out of the way, I can now take on the Elite Four. But Larry and Hassel were looking really dang spooky. So I was in desperate need of an Ice type. And this is another possibly triggering encounter, because my target was Sneasel. And you might be thinking, but Peepee, Sneasel is clearly a weasel, I mean it's in the name. Okay, but I have 2 pieces of evidence to prove that it's at very least a cat-weasel hybrid. Evidence 1. This is official cat-themed artwork from Game Freak. And would you look at that? It's your boy, Sneasel, hanging out with the cats. Evidence 2. The internet said so. So it's a cat. Cool. Ooh, hey. Let's go. He's hanging out. Look at him. Alright, sick. This didn't feel like it took that long. Maybe like an hour or 2? I don't know. I'm getting really lucky on outer world encounters. It's just Masuda that was giving me trouble. Yeah, I don't know. This shini's kind of tough, no? Look how cool it is. Oh. Alright, well that's awesome. Gray adds so much power to this team for the Elite Four, especially when he evolves into Weavile. And man, this Pokemon looks so good in Gen 9. I love the pose and the fur texture, it just gives off so much personality. I'm really glad that we all agree that this is a cat, because I can't wait to use Gray. I'll have to wait though, because Evergreen is the best cat for the challenge against Rika, and my strategy was really simple. Evergreen sets up a layer of spikes while using his cat-like reflexes to dodge a blizzard. And from here, the strategy is less of a strategy, as all Evergreen needs to do is use Flower Trick. And thanks to the spike, even Rika's Donphan couldn't avoid getting one-shot. And her Clodsire loses its poison typing, so the first Elite Four battle is a clean sweep. Urza was the clear answer to Poppy and her Steel types. And even without having Fire Terror, she's still able to one-shot Poppy's first 3 Pokemon. Her Magnezone, however, has that pesky sturdy ability, so it lives with 1 HP and sets up a light screen, which is really annoying, because now her ace Tinkaton is fairly safe against Urza's Flamethrower. So after finishing off Magnezone, Urza does have to switch, and I bring in Happy, who should have a decent time against Tinkaton. I mean, its Stone Edge only hits for 20 damage. Its Gigaton Hammer has a bit more oomph behind it, but Happy can abuse the Dig and Leftovers combo to stay relatively healthy, which is good news because Dig isn't even able to get the one shot. Thus, he must tank one more Gigaton Hammer before ending the battle with a close combat. Oh, you know what that means, chat? It's Gray time! His first victim is Larry, who uses flying types. Luckily for me, his lead Tropius is fodder worthy, but just to be safe, we taunt it so it can't get the sun up. This means it can't activate its Chlorophyll ability, and Solar Beam now takes 2 turns to charge. So Gray takes this opportunity to set up a Home Claws for +1 attack. I did only want to set up 1 attack boost to offset the future Intimidate from Staraptor, but I end up misclicking, and look, having +2 attack definitely isn't a bad thing, but I did risk a crit from Solar Beam killing Gray before he could even use a real attack. But he holds on, so it's a free win from here, as Gray ice spins on Larry's whole team. Having a fast and powerful ice type feels so good for this Elite Four, especially when Hassel, the 4th member, uses Dragon types. And it's the same plan as Larry, as Weavile outspeeds Noivern, so he can set up to +1 attack with Home Claws, though he does lose half of his HP to a Super Fang. But that doesn't matter if he never gets hit again. And well, he's just too fast. He outspeeds and one-shots Hassel's first 4 Pokemon. Baxcalibur, however, is a lot tankier, and I'm not confident that Gray can get the one-shot, so I switch into Lucy. Sadly, she does take some damage on the switch, because it opts to use Brick Break instead of Glaive Rush. And to be honest, I didn't even know Baxcalibur had Brick Break. But I guess it does. I'm learning a lot this run. Its Icicle Crash on the next turn does a buttload more damage, but Lucy is able to heal majority of that back up with a Draining Kiss. And after tanking 1 more Icicle Crash, she's able to KO the bulky dragon with a Moonblast, defeating the Elite Four and leading us into the battle against the champion. I'll be the first to admit that Geeta is probably the weakest champion in the franchise. However, I seem to struggle in this battle way more than I ever should. But not this time, my cats were locked in. Evergreen brings Espathra low with a U-turn, giving Urza the free switch as it uses Reflect. She finishes off the bird with a Hyper Voice, and then one-shots not only Geeta's Avalugg, but her King Gambit too. I'll say it, Pyroar is actually such a fun Pokemon and has been the biggest surprise for me this run. Though she does need to switch out against Veluza, so Evergreen re-enters the field, and Flower Trick just blows it out of the water. Go-Goat is next, but U-turn does massive damage, and Natsu can come in, and with 1 more U-turn gets the KO, and gives Happy a free switch in, so he can face down Geeta's Ace Glamora. He's holding the Assault Vest, drastically boosting his special defense, keeping him safe from Gamora's super effective Earth powers, and a single Iron Head is able to get the one-hit KO. And so, my shiny cats have become champions. But Can they save the world? Before we can find out, we must first prove our strength against our friends, and the first test was the battle against Arvin. I lead with Natsu to lower the green's attack stat, and then I U-turn into Evergreen to tank the resisted Earthquake. I then bring Natsu back out to lower its attack stat even further. I do this until it's at -4 attack. Evergreen is now able to set up 3 layers of spikes, and I can pivot through Natsu into Grey, who now takes barely any damage and can set up to +4 attack with Sword Stance. Night Slash then tears up most of Arvin's team, and then his last Pokemon is countered by Lucy, who easily gets the KO with a Moonblast. For the battle against Clavel, I decided to bring out a face we haven't seen in ages as I send in Rogue. Clavel's lead Oranguru tends to use Yawn if your Pokemon isn't asleep, so I abuse this to get off a free Belly Drum, maximizing Rogue's attack stat. And yes, after getting the KO, he does fall asleep, but a held Chesto Berry quickly wakes him up, so he can one-shot the rest of Clavel's Pokemon. I was so thrilled to be using Rogue again that I decided to try and use him to sweep Penny, but this ended up being a massive mistake. I thought our Umbreon would use either Baby Doll Eyes or Yawn, but it doesn't even have Yawn, so I really don't know what I was thinking. And so Rogue uses Belly Drum and loses half of his HP. But then he gets hit by a Dark Pulse, which brings him into the red. But at least he's at max attack, and now Low Sweep gets the Oko, and I was ready for Rogue to plow through the rest of Penny's team. But I forgot one very important fact. All these evolutions have quick attack, and Flareon has a surprisingly high attack stat, so quick attack is enough to kill Rogue. Ryan, if you made it this far, I'm so sorry. Losing my favorite Pokemon does hurt, but letting my best friend's favorite Pokemon die, oof, that kind of hurts my soul a little bit. Like my chest is tight. And now I'm in a really awkward spot, as while I have a lot of fire types, I don't have a lot of fire type counters. This is the first time a Flareon has ever threatened a Nuzlocke run, like ever, in all of time. My best bet is Xerath, and his Dark Pulse isn't doing a lot of damage, but Flareon's Flare Blitz is. And not only to Xerath, but the recoil is hurting Flareon just as much. And I can keep Xerath healthy with Moonlight. Oh. Well, at least Flareon took itself out in the process, I guess. I didn't bring Evergreen to this fight in fear of him over-leveling, so I'm still in a really tough spot, and I can only see one out. I send out Grey, and I can only hope she sends in Vaporeon, and something finally goes my way in this battle as she does send out everyone's favourite copypasta. It has the powerful move Hydro Pump, but Vaporeon isn't a huge offensive threat, so I use this chance to set up a Sword Stance. And it pays off as Hydro Pump only takes 50% of Grey's health, and that +2 is enough to one-shot Vaporeon, Leafeon, and even Jolteon, leaving Penny with her Sylveon. But I have a clear counter in Assault Best Happy, who eats a couple of attacks before one-shotting it with a Terra-boosted Iron Head. As for Nemona, we all know that Evergreen is pretty much a perfect counter to her whole team, and nothing went wrong here, so Evergreen just picks off her Pokemon one by one. It's actually insane how hard Meowscarada beats Nemona, and I love it so much. This Pokemon's so much fun to use. I finally proved myself worthy of the final battle, but I lost 2 amazing team members in the process, bringing me down to just 7 cats to choose from for the battle of the fate of Paldea. Lily, Loxus, Carla, Rogue, Xerath. I promise your deaths won't be in vain. I will defend this region. This battle is for the cats we lost along the way and the cats that are still with us. Let's go, Toro. We're ready. Now, Mystigan hasn't had a lot of spotlight this run, but she's about to make her name for herself in this battle. She one-shots Iron Moth with a Psychic, which then baits in Iron Jugulus. But I came prepared by giving Mystigan the Dazzling Gleam TM, and it lived on 1 HP. but Mystican dodges the Dark Pulse. Let's go. Another Dazzling Gleam finishes it off, and in comes Iron Thorns, but Mystican really can't touch it, so I switch into Happy. He does get some free chip with Fake Out, but now he has to survive an Earthquake. But he's the tankiest cat on the team, so he eats the super effective attack and retaliates with a close combat for the KO. Iron Hands is 4th, so I switch Mystican back in, and she dodges another attack. Her awful defense doesn't matter if she just avoids getting hit, and then she one-shots Iron Hands with another Psychic. Now Iron Bundle isn't weak to any of Mystican's attacks, but its special defense stat is only 60, so I'm pretty confident that a Terra boosted Psychic is just going to one-shot it. And I was right, Mystican cooks Iron Bundle, leaving Toro with his final Paradox, Iron Valiant. But its part fighting type means it's weak to Mystican's Psychic, so he can get one last one-hit knockout, winning the battle, and with that, I've beaten Pokemon Violet using only shiny cats. Sorry this one took so long, but Masuda really wasn't liking me. But if you liked this video, maybe check out the ones on screen here. I'm thinking the next video will be a shiny dogs only one, so keep an eye out for that. But until then, be kind and stay safe. See ya! Also like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.